The cell membrane is the boundary of the cell and is consisted of a phospholipid bilayer. The cell membrane contains many pumps and channels which allow it to transport needed materials in and out of the cell. Some examples of these pumps and channels are the ion channel, the sodium-potassium pump, and the carrier protein. Sodium-potassium pump is also a carrier protein that is involved in active transport. Specifically, they transport Na+ ions as well as K+ ions of their concentration gradients. Carrier proteins are involved in precipitated diffusion. Three Na+ ions bind to the carrier protein. The phosphate group is removed from ATP and bound to the carrier protein. The binding of the phosphate group changes the shape of the carrier protein, allowing 3 Na+ ions to be released into the cell's environment. The 2 K+ ions bind to the carrier protein. The phosphate group is released, restoring the original shape of the carrier protein. The 2 K+ ions are released into the cytosol. Carrier proteins assist in movement of molecules that cannot diffuse through the cell membrane even when there is a concentration gradient or are too large to pass through the pores in the membrane. They move molecules from a place of high concentration to a place of low concentration. A molecule bonds to a carrier protein on one side of the cell membrane. The carrier protein changes shape, shielding the molecule from the interior of the membrane. The molecule is released on the other side of the membrane. Ion channels are membrane proteins that are involved in transport. They are used during diffusion, in which ions in areas of high concentration move into areas of low concentration. This is a form of passive transport. Ion channels transport sodium, potassium, calcium, and chloride. Ion channels provide passageways across the cell membrane through which ions can diffuse. Each type of ion channel is usually specific for one type of ion.
Created using Powtoon.